2026 is only a few months old, but Hollywood has decided not to give us a chance to catch our breath. We are facing an extraordinary year that is changing the rules of the game. From sci-fi films that shatter expectations to legendary returns of characters we thought were finished. Today, I will reveal the list of the 10 films that have dominated the box office and ignited discussions among critics worldwide. I'm not just talking about movies to watch, but visual and psychological experiences that will make you question the boundaries of reality. Are you ready to discover the list that everyone is talking about? Brace yourselves. If you haven't seen these films, you are missing out on the most important cinematic conversation of the year. Let's begin our journey to uncover the top 10 most powerful films of 2026. 1. War Machine. War Machine arrives to remind us of the power of classic action films, but with a terrifying modern vision. Directed by Patrick Hughes, we see Alan Ritchson in a performance that embodies the pinnacle of physical strength and psychological pressure. The story begins as a survival test for elite U.S. Army Ranger candidates, but the moment an advanced alien machine crashes, the field turns into a bloody arena. The analysis here lies in how the director manipulates visual tension, making you feel as if the enemy is lurking right behind the screen. The comparison to the film Predator is not by coincidence. The film succeeds in making the machine an almost invincible entity. Is it just an action movie? No, it is a study on the instinct of survival when technology is stripped away and you face the unknown. Ritchson's vocal and physical performance makes Soldier 81 a character stuck in your mind. If you are looking for pure adrenaline, this is your top choice. Netflix has delivered a technical masterpiece here that redefines the human versus machine struggle with such brutality and beauty. 2. Send Help. How does a cold corporate strategist turn into a fierce survivor on a remote island? Rachel McAdams' film completely shatters the stereotype of her usual roles. The psychological analysis of the relationship between Linda and her arrogant boss, Bradley, gives the film a dimension that goes beyond traditional survival horror. What is intriguing is not whether they will make it home, but how Linda will use her corporate intelligence to psychologically and physically torture her boss in the wilderness. It is a class struggle in an entertaining, terrifying mold, mocking arrogant corporate hierarchy. Director Sam Raimi blends black comedy with the horror of nature in a way that is entirely unpredictable, which has made the film top the watch lists on Apple TV. McAdams leads the work with excellence, proving that the most powerful weapons in the wild are not knives, but a strategic mind. Is justice served when an arrogant man faces his true nature without power? The film doesn't just answer. It makes you enjoy every moment of revenge. This work is a lesson in how to turn the tables in the bleakest of circumstances. 3. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Gore Verbinski's film is not just a dark comedy. It is a mirror reflecting our technological obsession in a surreal, frightening way. Sam Rockwell delivers a brilliant performance as a time traveler facing 116 repeated failures, a number that carries symbolic significance for human absurdity. The film mocks our excessive reliance on AI today and poses a philosophical question. Are we truly the masters of our decisions? Curiosity mounts with every failed attempt as we see the hero forced to recruit a group of misfits to save a planet that doesn't acknowledge his intelligence. The film's visual style makes it feel like an unsettling dream you don't want to wake up from. Despite modest box office returns, critics have placed it at the top of the original films list this year. Will the world end because of a machine, or because of human negligence? The film answers with biting sarcasm that leaves you laughing and thinking simultaneously. This Amazon Prime Video experience is a must-watch for fans of unconventional sci-fi. 4. Project Hail Mary. If you feel regret because you didn't watch Interstellar in theaters, this film is your chance to make up for it. Ryan Gosling plays Ryland Grace, a science teacher who finds himself as humanity's last hope. But the genius here isn't just in saving Earth. The bond between Grace and the spider-like alien named Rocky is the film's beating heart. A friendship built on mathematics and science rather than words. This is optimistic sci-fi at its finest, where science proves that communication is possible despite different worlds. The visual analysis of the effects confirms it is leading the race for the Oscars without a doubt. Curiosity compels you to see how they will solve the complex scientific puzzles to save the sun. The film is not as bleak as we are used to, but rather an inspiring journey that makes you love science again. Its box office success is a testament to the audience's hunger for smart and heartwarming stories. Get ready for a cinematic experience that changes your perspective on the universe and interstellar friendship. 5. Crime 101. A film that blends the intelligence of a thief with the shrewdness of a detective in a tight, suspenseful mold along Los Angeles's famous 101 highway. Chris Hemsworth, as Mike Davis, sets strict rules for his heists, and this is the source of the tension. The rules that protect him are also the ones that will bring him down. Mark Ruffalo plays the detective who isn't satisfied with just a chase, but searches for a pattern in the chaos. This intellectual conflict between cat and mouse keeps the audience in a state of constant anticipation for every tiny detail. Why does he steal? And why now? The film presents a classic heist story but with a deep psychological subtext that transcends standard crime films. The stellar cast, including Halle Berry and Barry Keoghan, gives every scene exceptional acting weight. The balance between intense chases and deep drama is what made critics praise it as one of the year's best works. If you are a fan of meticulous planning and breath-holding moments, this is your perfect film. Crime 101 is not just a story about a heist. It is about the moment of human breaking point. 6. The Bride. One cannot talk about 2026 without mentioning this bold take on the Frankenstein story. Guillermo del Toro and his team provided an artistic vision that makes The Bride a symbol of rebellion rather than just a monster. Christian Bale and Jessie Buckley deliver performances that transcend acting to embody pain, loneliness, and the search for identity. The film's 1930s Chicago setting is not just a backdrop, but part of a violent and complex love story. The question the film poses: who is the real monster? Is it the creature made by man, or the man who exploited the creature? This feminist story reimagines the Bride of Frankenstein as a being full of rage and intelligence that refuses to submit. The film rejects traditional rules, making it a subject of debate and constant discussion among critics and audiences. If you are looking for cinematic art that leaves a mark on your soul, this is your choice. It is not a film for casual viewing, but for the philosophical and visual analysis that people will be talking about for years to come. 7. The Bone Temple. Are zombies evolving? This question is the primary driver of The Bone Temple. Nia DaCosta takes the 28 years later series into dark, entirely new dimensions. The film moves away from being just survival horror to becoming a study into the depths of human evil and the extent of humanity's degradation under pressure. When the infected start speaking, the lines between victim and executioner collapse, and that is where the film's dramatic genius lies. The performances of Ralph Fiennes and Jack O'Connell add terrifying realism to this shattered world. Despite being less profitable due to its dark tone, it is the most influential in terms of story and symbolism. The second chapter of this planned trilogy lays the foundations for an epic finale we are waiting for with bated breath. Why do we love end-of-the-world films? 8. In the Ruins. Who would have imagined that the story of a pygmy goat could encapsulate the philosophy of the underdog so beautifully? This Sony animated film is not just for children. The world of animals we see here is a metaphor for our real world, where size does not determine talent. Roarball is the fast-paced sport that will harass dreams of playing, and his story is the fuel of hope for anyone who has ever felt excluded. The hyperkinetic animation makes the sports scenes a visually stunning experience, as if you are watching trading cards coming to life. Stephen Curry and Caleb McLaughlin bring a realistic soul to the characters, making you emotionally invested in them. The film's success is massive because it touches a sensitive chord for families and sports fans alike. Are heart and talent enough to reach the top? This film shouts yes with a charming visual style. It is a reminder that big dreams do not recognize physical boundaries. Get ready to laugh, cheer, and perhaps shed a tear or two by the end of this colorful epic. 9. The R.I.P. What happens when a team of specialized police officers finds $20 million in an abandoned hideout? The answer is a complete collapse of loyalty and morals. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck reunite to teach us a lesson in how greed can turn friends into strangers in an instant. Joe Carnahan directs the film with a style that focuses on the ticking time bomb that this money represents within the group. The analysis here focuses on the critical moral moment. Do they take the money and live a lie, or do they report it and ruin their lives? Every scene in the film is full of suspicion and fear, where you can't trust anyone on screen. Curiosity kills you to know who will be the first to betray the others. It is a crime thriller that makes you question the price of your conscience. The acting provides a precise dissection of the human psyche under the pressure of material wealth. If you love heist turned into chaos films, this is the peak of 2026. You will leave the film thanking God you were never put in such a difficult situation. 10. Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man. The final farewell to the Tommy Shelby saga. Yes, he has returned, but not as the man we knew in the early seasons. We are in 1940, and an elderly Tommy Shelby faces a final challenge more dangerous than any before. The story is not just about a war against the Nazis, but about Tommy's war with his own past and his family, represented by his son, Duke. The chemistry between Cillian Murphy and Barry Keoghan is the emotional engine that makes the end of the series satisfying and painful at the same time. The visual analysis of the wartime atmosphere in Birmingham immerses you in the exhausted reality of the characters. Tommy Shelby, the man who thought he couldn't die, now faces his aging and his fate. Will the story end in victory or sacrifice? This film is a love letter to every fan who waited years to see an ending worthy of this icon. It is not just a film. It is the final chapter of a legendary TV series. Make sure you are present for this historic farewell, because after it, British drama will never be the same. The Immortal Man is the finale the Shelby family deserves. With that, we have reached the end of our journey through the cinema of 2026 so far. 10 films, 10 different experiences, and a whole world of excitement and analysis. I don't know about you, but this year's list made me wonder. Are we witnessing the new golden age of film? And now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments which film from this list is your favorite so far. And do you think we missed a hidden gem that deserves a dedicated video? Share your thoughts and predictions for the rest of the year. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay at the heart of the cinematic action.